Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. And give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. First things first, you already know. Hopefully, everybody having a blessed and productive Wednesday. Hopefully, everybody was smoothly able to get through the work day. Hopefully, your kids was able to get through the school day. I know the weather's been nice in certain areas. Y'all been reaching them 70s and 80s. Yeah, I know it's a little bit warm too, so just make sure y'all keeping yourself safe, hydrated. You know how it goes. You're almost near the summertime, y'all. And for a lot of y'all, need to definitely take heed to certain things when it comes to your health during the summer. So, if you feel too under the weather or feel something ain't right, definitely go make sure you're getting yourself checked out. So fire too, baby. Appreciate you, sis. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation on Sunday. And also appreciate everybody that tuned in Monday as well. Definitely was some great conversation. Diddy, baby. And tonight is nothing different. At some point, in case anybody want to chime in on the topic, the link is pinned. Title is clear as day. Loyalty over temptation. What do I mean by that? Some people will honestly choose the temptation over loyalty. I'll give a clear example. If you claim that you are loyal to your friends and you are definitely for them, the minute you find out something that could be disturbing or find out something that could possibly drive that person over the edge, you do have a duty as a quote unquote friend to let them know what's going on. Serious, baby. Like, prime example, if you find out for a fact that your friend's husband or your friend's wife is cheating, how loyal would you be to your friend? I mean, are you gonna sit back and let them know, or are you gonna sit back and mind your business? I know for some people they look at it as it's not my business, it's not my concern, and I don't want to be caught in the middle of it. Depending on the severity of the situation, I can't blame some people, but then there's others that know for a fact what's going on. And not like you found out and you just ain't say nothing. You've been knowing it for long. You know, that's the worst type, I believe. Um, that's the worst type of thing I believe is when you've been sitting on the secret that long and that's supposed to be your friend. There's no way you could tell me you would know that somebody has been cheating on a friend for if somebody been cheating on your friend for over a year, you not being loyal to that friend at all. Oh, when I also say loyalty over temptation, there's some people who will choose the temptation over loyalty, even when it comes down to certain scenarios. Prime example, for a fact, um, some people just have to be careful who they introduce to their partners and stuff like that. Prime example for some of you women, you got to be careful and which friends you bring around your significant other. Marlene, baby, Blackout, what's going on, my guy? What's going on? This is my thing. Ladies, be careful because again, you don't want to have to be in a situation where you possibly might be losing out on, you know, could be losing out on something good as far as both relationship and overall with your friendships. Um, I feel like this. There are some things you just can't do, and especially when you look at it from this standpoint. You should have a loyalty and a trust with your friend where nothing, I mean, nothing should break bonds. Like how some dudes got it. We ain't letting women come between our friendships and our bonds. That's one thing we just don't do. At least most of the men I know. We ain't letting nothing come in between whatever bonds and friendships we built. There's no way you can say you have built a bond and a trust with somebody only to betray that trust. That's why I said for some of y'all ladies, you have to be careful and who you bring in your significant other around. Especially, we don't know for sure who's who. We might think we know, but you're gonna have some people who are low key jealous. Those low key jealous ones are the ones you have to really look out for. The reason why I say that is because again, those low key jealous ones will be the ones that mess up you something you got going on, and they will try to do anything or almost anything just to destroy that because they're unhappy. Jared, what's going on, my guy? Again, you have to be careful, and I would say that with some of you fellas too. You gotta be careful bringing your lady around certain dudes, especially when you know them certain dudes is, you know, they all for the they all for the not get back, but they all for the wrong things. Now, I'm not saying there's a lot of men who will do that. No, there's a small handful of them who, if they feel type of jealous, out of pocket, or just out of whack with things, oh yeah, they're gonna definitely hate. East Dad, what's going on, my guy? Yeah, these are things you have to be careful for and worry about. But also, you got to make sure that your partner is strong enough and wise enough to know not to allow certain things to take place as well. You know, because it's gonna be times you're not gonna be around your partner, but your partner need to be strong and wise in their decision making, and that's real rap right there. You have to be careful. When you got people who want exactly what you want or want exactly the things that you have, oh yeah, they will go to far lengths to try to make things even more difficult than it needs to be. But that's the joy and the beauty of a strong, impactful, and a communicative relationship. Because, if your partner is strong and solid minded, then you don't really have much to worry about to a degree. Be quite honest with you, if you pick the right one, trust me, that right one is going to know, you know, not to sway interest. You've seen certain situations where, people decided they was going to go the opposite direction and show no loyalty to their partner. And guess what happened? Everything that they thought they built got crumbled and destroyed within small time frame. It could take you years to build up something, to build up trust with somebody, but it could take small moment to mess up all of that. I think that's something that people need to be aware of. Again, I've always felt like this. Loyalty is something that should be learned. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You loyal to the right ones, and the right ones are loyal to you. You don't have much to worry about. You know, you all can mess around and be in good relationships, and nobody will poke or intervene or try to make something out of nothing. You know, everybody has their own. Everybody is happy. That's supposed to be the goal, but we know sometimes that's not always the case. You're gonna have some ones lurking. Even ones outside your circle might be lurking. If you got something that they couldn't get, oh yeah, they're gonna definitely be upset. But then you're gonna have those who are complete strangers that might try to, you know, try to test their hand. But again, if you got the right form of partner, you ain't got much to worry about. If that person is loyal to you like he's supposed to be, they won't allow nothing to get in between or interfere in between your relationship. And this is my thing. I couldn't see myself trying to quote unquote deal with anybody that I know for a fact has dealt with a close friend or a family member. I'm just that loyal. I wouldn't go that direction. Never been that direction. You know, I'd rather have my own than to try to push up on somebody else's. But that's just me. I'm too loyal to default. But shit, my peoples have been loyal as well too. See, that's the one thing when you got a strong bond with your brotherhood. Oh, believe me, we don't allow certain things like again to get in between that loyalty factor. You know, and if anything, we always inspire each other to do better or do well anyway. So, like, okay, my man got something good. I need to go find me something good, and that's how it usually be. Um, but then again, you know, you have some people who have been a part of disloyal factors and had to find out the hard way. You know, like that's my whole thing overall. You know, if you are with somebody, and I'm gonna say that for anybody that's in a good relationship, if you claim you with somebody that you're feeling and everything is working right, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up by trying to do too much. You know, and that's how it'll happen. You know, sometimes mess yourself up by trying to do too much when it's not necessary. Mike, what's going on, my guy? You already know y'all just tuned in the like button. But you know, it's real raps though. If you claim that you are committed to somebody and you love them, like some of these people will say, "Oh, I love you and I would do anything for you," etc., etc. But then you are willing to be disloyal and step out. That's not no love at all. That's what's up, bro. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. You know, bringing something to the people as always. You know, but this should be a eye awakener for some because I've seen some people personally who claim, "Oh, I love you," and you know, even with the post, like you'll post up on your social media pages and all of these, "Oh, I love yous," and "we strong" and "we tight." But then I turn around and see your ass with the next man doing whatever or the next woman doing whatever. Man, don't sit here and lie to the people and say that you love them and that you know yeah, you can't say all of that if you still out here creeping and doing whatever. That's not loyalty. That's straight up selfishness right there. I don't care how you look at it. That is selfishness right there. Because if you really ain't bonded with a person like that, then there's no need for you to lie and say that you be loyal and you'll never hurt them, etc., etc. When you know that's exactly what you're doing. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working hard and these pigeons on this loaf of bread, baby. But it's crazy because some people would say, "Oh, you have some people who come on here and say, oh, everything was good until I decided to do this, or you shouldn't have been making no decisions. Those decisions right there will eventually cost you." James, what's going on, my guy? Those decisions of, I could do better, or I could do what I want to do, and this person won't find out. You gonna get a rude awakening. Because again, if you claim to be loyal to somebody, you shouldn't be having second doubts or thoughts about stepping up. And even if it's going to get to that point, you might as well sit down with that person and let them know and be truthful with them and tell them what it really is. And then from there, if you decide you still going to do you, hey, you go do you. But at least you don't have to worry about hurting somebody. But then again, that person might be hurt when you decide to say something like that. Because again, depending on how long you done been with this person probably really grew a strong attachment to you. And that's something that's going to hurt them even worse when you hear, listen, this ain't working. And I think that's important, though. You know, it's important to know when it's time for you to make a clear decision. Again, you choosing loyalty over temptation, cool. So that means, again, you shouldn't be focusing on trying to destroy something that you're building. Shouldn't be trying to fix anything that's not broken. You know, and that's the thing. You have to be careful with the decisions that you are making in life. You know, don't sit here and again say that you are for somebody and you love them, and the first thing you're thinking about is trying to hurt them or destroy them. Because when it's all said and done, like I said, that karma game comes back around. Same way you just did somebody filthy, it could be done to you. You left somebody for you left somebody good for somebody that's not good, and expect the same thing to happen to you. Same way you got a person is the same way you could lose a person. So if you got that person because they decided to up and leave and cheat on their partner, etc., you could expect the same thing to happen to you at some point in juncture. Bron, what's going on, my guy? Again, you gotta be careful out here. Because again, not everybody knows what loyalty means, especially when it comes down to dating and relationships. There is no loyalty at certain points because, again, if you are with the wrong person that's only looking at certain scenarios, uh, chances are it ain't going to end well. But again, this is why you have to be as communicative as possible in your relationship. And again, if you're not going to be able to settle down with one person, then just stay single. You know, keep yourself on the dating scene until you feel you are ready. And even once you done bypass the stages of dating with somebody, again, you got to be real with yourself and be real with that person. And if you're not going to stand strong and solid with a person, then guess what? You can expect your relationship to have some form of sourness. And at some point, it could definitely end on a bad note. Question for the ladies: how would you feel if you found out one of your quote unquote best friends was creeping with your significant other? How would you respond to that? And who should get a bulk of the anger, or who should get a bulk of whatever? In all honesty, I feel in certain scenarios, once you done found out what you needed to find out, uh, Your next step is just moving forward and not even getting too over emotional about the situation. Danielle, what's going on, baby? Because I'll be honest with you, there are some people who will fully blow their gasket, and even like I said, getting to a point of destroying things and destroying property. But in the same token, don't put yourself in any hot water that you don't need to be in. And if you didn't purchase none of that stuff that you're about to destroy, you got to remember there are consequences. You know, in all honesty, you need to just get up and walk away once you find out. The minute you find out any one of your friends or family is dealing with somebody you are supposed to be dealing with, you need to definitely cut all ties. And not just with that man or that woman, but that person that came in between that. I don't honestly see how some people would be able to forgive a person who did them did them filthy. I hear you, serious. I mean, because like I said, everybody would have different, scenarios and different opinions about that. Because I would ask the fellas the same thing. How would you feel if you found out your lady was dealing with somebody that was close within your circle or dealing with somebody in your family? How would you be able to handle that scenario as far as the overall raw emotion? Because I'm not gonna lie, there are some people who just have that strength and courage to say, you know what, before I do something I'm gonna regret, let me just walk away. And usually that's the best scenario I could say that is best fitting for people. You know, just walk away from it. Yeah, I mean, you are entitled to express your thoughts and feelings, but when it's all said and done, you just walk away. Once you find out certain scenarios like that, you have a choice to make. And some scenarios, those choices have led to untimely demises or worse consequences. Because again, not everybody's going to be 100% mental when it comes to these scenarios and they finding out things. You know, you've had some scenarios where both of them have gotten what they were supposed to get. They got that work. But in the same token, they also got a life lesson. You can't go around doing people all crazy and thinking that it's not going to backfire on you. Wanda, what's going on, baby? That's what I'm saying. Got to be more wise in the decisions that you're making. Because you playing around with people's feelings, and at some point, trust me, it will definitely have its fucking consequences on y'all. And it makes it even worse for you down the line. Because in some scenarios, people are going to be, nope, I can't trust you. If you did that to this person, I can imagine what else you would do to this person. Where's the loyalty at? And I would ask that same thing. You know, if you look at the stories that you have heard, right, you'll see that it's a pattern. It's about choosing the right type of friends, having the right type of people with the right mindset, and definitely just keeping those around you who know what true loyalty is. Just because my friend might have something good, I don't mean I can't find something good myself. And I shouldn't have to prey on my friend's downfall, or I shouldn't have to scheme on trying to get something that probably ain't for me in the first place. And I think that's a problem that, some people get caught up in the temptation. Like some of you ladies out here, you can't say that you happily married and then when you out and about in public, you know, you're out and about in public and you doing things that could be embarrassing, or even downright could destroy or impact your marriage or relationships. Like prime example, there's some of y'all who are willing to go out like spring break and things along those natures. These type of events, in my opinion, are for people who are young, single, and ready to mingle, or even people who are just single and ready to mingle. But if you know you married or you in a serious relationship, you even engaged, there's some spots you just would have to stay away from, not unless you really know you strong against temptation. You know, there's some people who will get caught up in the simplest things. Like prime example, you can't sit here and think that you gonna be out here doing certain things to your partner, and you're not gonna sit here and think you're gonna be able to be out there doing the worst things under your partner's nose and thinking at some point it's not gonna come back to haunt you. It will, you know. And again, if you just not feeling the person, then be honest with them and tell them what it is. I think that's a key element. Again, a key element of just having a better understanding. You know, because there's some situations where it's not necessary for some of y'all to cheat, or some of y'all to think that it's going to be cool to cheat. Now, again, you might come across some people who feel like, okay, I'm good with this open relationship. Now, if that's something that you cool with, I can't knock you on that. But just know at some point, there is going to be no form of loyalty or trust. Because at some point, it's going to be a situation where one partner is not going to be happy with the other partner doing something. But again, if you're not for that, and you need to be loyal to yourself, and you need to be, letting it be clear to that other person what it is. I think that some of you might be thinking this right now, and this might resonate with somebody. Sad that some of y'all are thinking to try to harm or even hurt your friends in that manner. It's not good because that shows, again, selfishness. That shows disloyalty. Again, you rather have your own. See, again, I can't personally see myself trying to go at anybody's wife, girlfriend, or none of that. Knowing that I know what I know, nah, I'm not doing that. And that's something that I stood by even to this day. When it comes to you having your own, you supposed to make sure that that's what it is. But again, you need to make sure that the partner you are with is loyal to you. And when I mean loyal, I mean she shouldn't belong to nobody else. You shouldn't be sharing her with nobody else. And that's real raps right there. For some people, you think you have loyalty, but when you find out those people are for the streets, I think that's the worst type of feeling right there because now it's almost like you gotta restart everything. But then again, you know, you dodged a serious bullet. See, certain things happen for some reason. So for those who might have been just going through something initially like that, trust me, you dodged the bullet. Like prime example, if you find out the person you dealing with is still running around trying to be wild, hey, you don't sit there, cry, and get all upset. You just keep moving forward. Because it should give you a clear lesson that this person is not mentally mature or ready for that type of commitment. especially if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a serious, committed relationship or a marriage, you can't be with somebody who, again, is for the streets. And that's on both sides. There's some of you men who had to find out the hard way, you know? And that's all a fact, know your worth. You know what you know what you require, you know what you're worth. And I believe that. I've always believed that. When you have the right type of people, oh, trust me, it shows. It shows on so many levels. Well, we had a troll in here? Oh. All right, I'm about to say, I thought we had a troll in here. I was about to get crazy. Be careful, Mike. You already know, my guy. Be careful, man. But that's the thing, though. Again, you know, loyalty is something that's almost a lost art because some people are only as loyal as their next meal, basically. And you have some people again who, if they feel you have something that they've been longing for, they're gonna try to do everything in their path to gain it, everything in their path to try to mess up. You know. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Always got one. Okay, we always got one. But this is what I'm saying. You know, you gotta remember this. In the long run, you know, you make yourself look even worse. You make your character look bad when you can't be honest and open with somebody for real. You know? Again, if you feel the person is not fitting your description, then sit down and have that talk with them. You know? Let it be known that this is what it is. And, you keep it moving from there. No doubt, Mike, appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. Again, why string people along if you're going to mistreat them or misuse them? And that's on multiple levels right there. Because there's some of you fellas who are doing the same thing. You know, we didn't get a PSA. Oh, okay, okay. And I had to be sure. I'm feeling kind of petty tonight. But again, don't diminish your character and mess yourself up. If you feel again you're in a situation that you're really not feeling, then open your mouth and say something. You know, the worst that could happen is that somebody they get upset. It might be a little bit hurt, but at least you're being forward and honest with them, and they not finding out something that would definitely hurt them or take them over the edge. Like again, look how many times we done had stories of people being disloyal to friends, being disloyal to family. I shouldn't have to worry about my partner being out here cheating. And especially when there's cheating with people that I see every day or people that I gotta come across almost every day. Not right, you know. Be open and honest with yourselves and be open and honest with the person you're dealing with. You can't be loyal to yourself. You can't be loyal to nobody else. And that is an actual fact right there. The loyalty should be deeper than anything. You should have enough loyalty and enough sense to say, I'm really not going to hurt this person, especially if this person has been good to me. And even if I feel this person just ain't my overall picking, before I would even get to that notion, I would stop and tell them. before even putting them into any form of relationship situation. Because essentially, after dates, it's either you gonna be with that person or that person just gonna be a friend. But again, be honest. Because you never know, that person could be having a deep connection or bond to you. But again, you might not feel all the same way. And if you don't, just be honest with them. Frankie, what's going on, my guy? And I would say that on both angles because again, you know, loyalty is definitely something that it goes a long way. When you have a partner that's loyal to you and they not easily swayed by anybody, that's a blessing right there. And that's somebody you definitely need to you know, keep there and keep strong with you. You know, that's somebody you could actually take a journey with and not have to worry about nothing. You know, prime example for some of you women out there, don't think that just because you might not be in the presence of your significant other, that you still not being watched some way, somehow. Because there's some of y'all that are placing yourselves in hot situations. You coming on certain platforms or on certain platforms with the same madness. And again, be true to yourself. Even if somebody try to come up and interview you, again, have some form of class and decorum. If you really truly love your partner, you won't say or do anything that could be detrimental to, again, that relationship or that marriage. There was a situation one time when this girl went on this little show that they be doing, you know, and they asked her some questions, and I thought it was a skit, but when come to find out, that person ends up divorcing or filing for divorce after seeing that. That should go to show you got to be careful of what you doing on here. And some of you fellas too, because again, you act like if you're not coming on these people, these people's platforms and panels, like people are not going to see it. Some people are definitely going to see what was said. And if your significant other finds out something that they didn't know about, oh yeah, you won't have a lot to worry about. Just Jay, baby. So again, just be mindful of what you broadcasting. And if it's something that you didn't tell your partner and then slip up, oh, guess what? It's going to be brought back up into a conversation. That's what I'm saying. Again, if you really are not feeling your significant other, just tell them. Be truth. Be truthful about that. What it is? A lot of times it be pride. And sometimes that pride will definitely mess up things that are not needed. But I would say again, be careful. Be careful in the people that you present your significant other to. And also just pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the room. Read the room very well. At some point, you'll find out what you need to find out. And I would say, fellas, if you got yourself a good woman, got yourself somebody who's on all cylinders, clean, don't take her on a joyride to nothing. And don't mess yourselves up. Some of you fellas have to be careful with that temptation. She might have friends who are gonna do certain things who will basically be like a loyalty test. Let's see if this person is that loyal to you. Let's see if this person is really gonna stand firm during these type of scenarios, or are they gonna fold under pressure. And vice versa. Some of you ladies have got caught out there like that too. Again, my thing is, if you feel you with a person that you are not not strong enough with, or not compatible enough with, then again, sit down and have that talk, and then you figure out what you need to figure out from there. Because again, that's the worst thing. Again, for you to have no form of loyalty, or this person has no form of loyalty on any level. Like there's some people who remain friends knowing that I I don't see how some of y'all women did it. It's like I don't see how some women could do it now. If I know, and some fellas too, if I know I got somebody who done went after somebody I was dealing with and is known for doing that on one occasion, that's all it takes is one occasion. Once you don't went after something of mine, I can't be friends with you. I can't fuck with you like that. Sorry, I can't. Because it lets me know that you gonna try to go after everything that I go after. They don't need that. You get rid of people like that. Because again, every time you get something good or something that these people might want, they gonna try to do, like I said, anything to destroy that. And again, you have to be careful. It should be loyalty over temptation because again, if you felt you made the best decision, you wouldn't have committed to that person. You would have just stayed single. And for some of y'all, the temptation could just be money. You will compromise friendships, relationships, and even family scenarios for money. That's not loyalty. Again, that's selfishness. Then it's also stupidity. You know, I hear you serious, and that's how it's supposed to be. It should be no gray areas for real. Again, you are supposed to be building something together. So if things are going right, continue to keep moving everything in the right direction. You know, you're gonna have your moments of uncertainty, but then again, when you sit back and you talk and you have these strong conversations, you could get rid of unnecessary and unneeded tension. You get rid of the negative vibes. But again, if you going all in for a person or you going all in with a person, then there should be no second guessing on anything. It should be no self doubts, none of that. Again, you stand firm and you stand strong. But see, in this era right now, again, loyalty don't mean nothing. Money could sway away loyalty from a person. All it takes is a couple of dollars with some people to just ruin something. Oh, and that's a whole fact. That's a whole fact, serious. I mean, some people have proven how loyal they are to friends because, again, there's some people who, the minute they find out something that could damage or even hurt their friends, they the first ones letting it be known what it is, which I respect because, again, I would rather have my friends tell me something off the rip than me find out the hard way and then also find out you ain't been real and ain't been, been subtle. Cause then now I got a side eye and question a lot of different factors and scenarios, which I shouldn't have to. But again, you can't say that you down for your people or you down for friends and whoever, but you willing to try to destroy or sabotage either your own or sabotage somebody else's. I'm sorry. Um, these type of scenarios will create the worst type of experiences. You know, see when you young, when you young, uh, you still are undecisive when it comes to certain things. When we was teens, we know for the ones who was able to date, we kind of was undecisive, and even if we did pick something, we made sure that you know we tried to get it right, or we tried to work things out until things can't be worked out no more. You know, and sometimes we might be with somebody, and it might be a couple months, maybe a year down the line, but if things didn't work out and we left off on a good note, that's a positive. Because yeah, some relationships, even when young, ain't gonna last forever. Now I've been a part of two of them that are still going strong, and I was the one that hooked them up. To this day, they still strong. Kids, family, and all. They weren't expecting the grandkid. So that's what I'm saying. Some people will be connected and bonded and will stay strong forever. You're gonna have others who it's not gonna happen if the communication is lost. And see, communication is also that part of loyalty. I should be able to be loyal enough to speak to you and tell you how I feel about anything that could possibly be going on. I hear you, serious. I mean, look, everybody might feel that way for now, you know. But at some point, you want to be able to say, "I'm gonna share this table with somebody who's worth it. I'm gonna share this table with somebody who has proven these steps, not just in loyalty, but just overall making competent decisions." You know, you want to make sure that the person that you locked in with is locked in with you too. You know, that's the most important part of it. You know, loyalty is basically, in my opinion, I should be able to I should be able to leave, or even if I'm not around, I should be able to know that my partner is safe, number one, and my partner is also not going to do something that could be detrimental. Or I got to also make sure my friendship and my loyalty is strong with my people. And fellas, again, be careful. Ladies, be careful too. Because again, you got some people who are not going to be honest about things. And again, do your research. If you feel something is off, do your research. And then from there, you move forward. If you think this person is a cheater, then guess what? 9 out of 10, they probably are. Or if you just feel something is going wrong, then you already know what it is, 9 out of 10. But again, don't let overall emotions affect your judgment and things neither. I hear you, serious. I hear you. And that's the thing. You know, keeping yourself balanced, keeping yourself focused, until it's time to do the damn thing. Yeah, because not everybody does deserve a table at your seat. A table and a seat, period. What the hell is this food, though? Bad job. Always something. Not everybody deserves a seat at the table for real, though. And that's on the friendship level, relationship level, just in general. You know, the table should be only for those who, again, have the loyalty, the honor, and the respect. You know, and I'll be honest with you, there are some of you who are putting yourselves in crazy situations because you're not listening to advice or you're not listening to the most well needed advice that's going to help you out in the long run. You know, like prime example for some of you fellas, if more than one of your peoples is telling you this is not the person you should try to highlight or this is not the person you should try to get with, they're telling you that for a good reason. Again, if there's more than three of your peoples telling you that, that's because either they know something personally or they probably did have some form of contact with them. And again, why put yourself in that situation? You know, some people are just not going to ever be for a solid relationship or any relationship that they get into. Some of those people are going to mess up because, again, they have this mindset of, I'm going to cheat or I feel I could do something better. A prime example of that type of thought process would be like the movie Baby Boy. We see how Jody was doing things. You claim that you love this person, but then you still out here cheating with other women. Just because you said you make love to her, but you F them other women, that don't mean nothing. You're still having intercourse, my guy. You know, and these are the type of scenarios some people have in their mind. I can have my cake and eat it too. No, 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 no. You can't. Not in those scenarios. And especially when you're not being protected. And some of you are putting yourselves in crazy scenarios by, again, not protecting yourselves. You know, protect your spirit, protect your peace, but also protect your body as well. You know, if you are solid with a person that you with, then again, there should be no second thoughts, doubts, anything. You should be able to keep progressing forward with that person. But again, keep the communication open. And even if you feel, again, there's a situation where you feel things need to be spiced up, have enough strength and have enough courage to sit down and talk with your partner. When you really sit back and have these talks, even when these talks is uncomfortable, you'll get to a better place. You know, but again, this is something that we overlook. Can't overlook these scenarios again. Like for some of you ladies, you claim that you got good friends and good female counterparts as far as friends are concerned. And guess what? You should be able to say, okay, I'm not going to do anything that would tarnish or damage anything. If I want to see my friend happy and prosperous, I'm not going to do anything to stop that shine. I'm not going to do anything that would cross those borders. I've honestly believed, in my years of thinking and just observing, that when some of you don't get the people you've been yearning for or wanting, I think a lot of times that's for a good reason. It's good that you didn't get that person because you never know what the scenario could be. And again, you're not going to get everything that you want and desire. You're going to get the things that you need, and that's what you need to remember. You're going to only get the things that you need. Things that you want, you could get them. But again, you need to be your best. And you need to be at your best. You have to make sure you keeping your eyes on the main focus. You already know what's required. You know what you're seeking. And until you get those things, focus on your life. Focus on making things better. Like, I'm sorry for some of you men and women out there, you shouldn't be focusing on trying to date or jump into any form of relationship if you're not financially ready, you're not spiritually ready, you're not mentally ready. You know, those are key elements that people seem to forget. Like, how could you want to be with somebody if you have nothing to offer them, and vice versa? You know, you deal with certain things the way you need to deal with it. Ain't the reason why relationship. That's one. That's one. That's definitely one of those. Those one of the main scenarios. Serious. I mean, it's truth. Because some of these people claim that they love their significant other, they claim to be married, but then they get on some of these shows and podcasts and things like that, and they let loose. But my thing is, again, if there are things that you know for a fact your partner don't know, don't come on here running your mouth. And some of y'all be quick to run your mouth when you're drunk, and that'll be a downfall as well too. But again, if you loyal to a person, you make sure you stay loyal. There should be no secrets, no none of that. I don't care how tough that secret may be. You better off letting it be known before it get any deeper. No, that's what I'm saying. We have so many different scenarios and why these relationships are not working. But part of the reason why is this: there is no loyalty. You got friends who are willing to sabotage friendships and relationships just to get at somebody that they've been trying to get at. Again, couldn't see myself trying to push after or go after somebody that I know is happy with somebody. And again, you know, there are too many fishes out there in the sea for y'all to just be trying to gather up on one person. That was something I learned eons ago. Never keep chasing after one person. Chase after something that's good for you. When you keep trying to chase after one person, at some point, hey, you gonna see for yourself. Sometimes it wasn't worth the chase. It's only worth the chase right now because that person might, oh, you know, this person is good. But guess what? For some of y'all need to remember this too. Sometimes in certain scenarios, beauty only lasts but for so long. Beauty is only skin deep. You know, yes, you're gonna have some people who are gonna look good well into their golden ages. Some people not gonna be so lucky. It depends on what the scenario is. Again, you know, and in certain scenarios, looks will fade over time. So if you was only with somebody just because you thought that they was handsome, or you thought because she was the bomb diggity, and you come to find out at some point down the road it ain't the same, what you gonna do then? Where would that loyalty lie at then? You know, that's something to think about. You know, but again, for some of you fellas out there, you know, just be careful. The same thing with you ladies, be careful. Because again, if you're not happy in your present situation, you need to let it be known and just be honest with the other person. I'm quite sure they will respect the honesty instead of a lie. You know, and some of y'all get caught up because of that. Instead of you just saying, you know what, let me be real and truthful to this person and not hide nothing. And some of you dead hide things or try to take it with you to your grave. But again, at some point, you mess yourselves up because there are going to be some things that you feel might be minor, but then again, it might not be minor. Those could be major factors that destroy your relationship. Like prime example, I would say you have to have loyalty over temptation because some people are tempted to keep secrets, right? There's some people who knew they was pregnant with their significant other's babies, and instead of them going through with the pregnancy, no, they got rid of them because of what? Selfish behavior. I don't want a kid right now. Just because you might not want that child, that doesn't mean you don't still sit down and have that conversation with your significant other. I remember a scenario when this guy found out wife he been with for more than 5 years, then had three miscarriages. Well, no, I'm lying. Three abortions. But she lied and said they was miscarriages. That's the worst thing. You know, that's the worst thing you could do. And that's the most disloyal thing you could do is sit back and lie to your partner in their face. Especially when you know this person was really happy or anytime he thought it was something, he was happy. He was ready for everything. He was ready to take care of and ready to be the best father that he possibly could. And when he found out all of that, what you think happened? That man done divorced, done moved on, found himself a whole nother woman who, in my opinion, is way better than the last one. They got kids together now, raising a good family. It's all good, you know. And this is my thing though. You got to have enough loyalty in your relationship because again, there are some things that don't need to be broadcasted out there. Like some of you ladies and some of you fellas would do the same thing. Your bedroom escapades. That's nobody else's business. Ladies, again, some of you will come on here and oh, I'm in a committed relationship. I'm this. But then the same token, disrespecting your man by saying certain things or exposing certain things that shouldn't be exposed. Now I ain't gonna lie, I've seen some fellas do some foul stuff too. But again, it all catches up with them in the long run, as you see. You know, there's some things you just are not going to be able to keep doing and thinking that it's going to be a pass for it. No, because at some point, guess what? Same things you doing to these people, it could be done to you. You know, like I said, there are some things that shouldn't always be broadcasted. What happened to that privacy method or that privacy level of things? Like for some of y'all, if you're having issues in your bedroom, don't bring it to the internet. Talk to your partner behind the scenes. Like, I'm sorry. Those are stories you get tired of hearing about too. Come on, and then it's, oh, huh. It shouldn't. Listen, if you feel it's that much of an issue, then talk with your partner behind the scenes and y'all fix what y'all need to fix. Don't bring that shit to the internet. You can't claim that you love somebody and that you loyal to them, but you willing to try to tarnish them or disrespect them. And remember, when you come on here, the world is watching. I'm sorry, but this is why communication is a must. I should be able to communicate with my partner behind the scenes if I'm having an issue about something, not try to drag it out and bring it to the internet. And then when you have multiple people who have an opinion there, Some of y'all want to try to get upset. No, you can't be upset when you brought that out here. You can't. You know. No, it's a whole fact series. Not supposed to. Like I said, that, and in my opinion, that's that kiss and tell shit. Am I supposed to be coming on here, even if I'm a content creator? Am I supposed to be coming on here telling all of my damn private business? No. Keep that shit to myself. I wouldn't care if I was out here acting like Will Chamberlain and scoring every night. That's not everybody's business. You know, but you got some people who love to just come on in and just, it's a lot of them is for attention. That's not loyalty when you disrespecting somebody that you are supposed to be sharing a bed with. On there. And then there are some situations where you look at it and you be like, how did that even happen? Like, this is the worst form of disrespect, in my opinion. You share a house together and you are cheating in that household. It never ends out well. It never ends up well. The bed, your household, your bedroom, that's supposed to be your private space. Nobody else is supposed to be in that private space outside of you too. Some of you feel that comfortable to bring somebody that you cheating on with to the house, knowing that a lot of times that's not going to be a good scenario. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes disloyalty could be your downfall. It will be the course of you losing your life. Sorry to say it that way. That's why I said loyalty over temptation any day. You know. Now some of y'all think that it's cool to mess with people who are in serious relationships or married, but guess what? When it's all said and done, you're not doing nothing but creating all forms of misery and chaos on both ends. Nah, and it's not cute at all. It's not. It's not fucking. It's not happy. You know, it's not a happy feeling at all. To think that you supposed to be loyal to somebody, but that same person is out here tarnishing you on this internet or saying crazy shit on the internet. And there's some of you who are gonna blatantly spew out your guts about certain shit. Now, my thing is again, if your partner didn't know about that, how you think they gonna feel when they find out? BMF, I told you don't come in here without my scratch off ticket. James, get the coffee gun ready. Serious, lock the door. I told you, BMF, we ain't gonna start with that madness, son. Come in here with my ticket, son. Don't come in here though. Tired of your shit. Wanna hit out a damn thing. Oh, so you thought you was tough. You was gonna come in here without my damn scratch off tickets? Nah, sir. And you late for church. And you late for church. Nah, you gotta go. Yeah, these clink clinks. Start that bullshit now. Nah, what's going on, bro? No doubt, Danielle. Appreciate you, baby. Have a good night, sis, and appreciate you for tuning in. It's been a minute. Don't mind all this extra music you're hearing. I don't got nothing to do with that. I don't want to hear nobody doing the salsa neither. Hey, hey, get jiggy with it. Hey. Nah, but you know, come on now, man. I mean, let's be real. How do you feel that your partner is going to even look at you, you know, even in the same good light when you basically damaged part of their reputation on it? And that's truth. Like, come on now. What's gonna happen when that partner finds out some things that they wasn't aware of? What you think that relationship is gonna? What you think that relationship is really going to withstand that test of time? No. Like, there's some of you men and women who have come on here and have completely sat here and disrespected your partners to the fullest. You know, to the fullest. It's not right. Oh yeah, well, they don't know that I slept with, or that I did this, or even that simple thing right there could destroy something. Like, some of you have come on here and made it quite clear that you're not happy with your partner, but you're not telling them, but you're telling everybody else. Make that make sense. There's some people who have come on here and said, "Oh, um, I'm not really happy with the person I'm with. Person I really want to be with is one of their good friends or something along those lines." How you think that person gonna feel when they find out the truth and find out that you couldn't sit there and tell them, but you told everybody else? Come on, now. That's the worst feeling. To think that you with somebody who is being truthful to you and being real with you, and you come to find out they're not even for you. They're not even happy with you. You wasting somebody's time. You know. That's why I said don't waste nobody's time, because people can't get time back. Time is precious, but it's also of the essence again. And if you think that sitting back and holding secrets is the thing to do, that's the most disloyal part of anybody's structure that's gonna set them set them down a dark road. That dark road, trust me, you're not gonna see it coming, but when it happens, shit, gonna be a problem. When you end up crashing out, can't nobody save you. You can save yourself to a degree, but then again, that's only up to you and solely up to you. Again, if you feel you are not with somebody that completely makes you happy, let them know, son. Don't keep leading them on, and definitely, you know, don't waste their time. Let them decide what they're going to do from here on out. You know, for all you know, you could be blocking their blessings as well too, because they might actually find somebody who really wants to be with them. But another thing I would also say too is, again, stop bringing all your personal affairs, even down to your bedroom activities, to social media. Because when it's all said and done, you everybody's gonna have an opinion on that. And there's nothing you can do, nothing you can say, because again, even down the road, somebody will still have something to say about that whole situation at end. So, you know, being truthful to yourself, you know, keep yourself humble, keep yourself afloat, keep your relationships and marriages afloat. Oh, Nah, I'm good. The BMF, I'm good. Ain't nobody got me pissed. I can't be pissed. I'm happy. The weather is nice. It's a quiet night at work. I'm light skinned. For 12 seconds of my life, I'm light skinned. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though, serious. After a while, you're going to get tired of situationships. Because those same situationships ain't going to guarantee you nothing. For some people, you want to be able to say, I'm sharing my world with somebody. I get to wake up with that person, go to sleep with that person. Because there's some people who have had that to a degree and also lost that. Let's not forget that. That's my whole thing. You know, you have people who also, have yearned for those type of situations, finding that compatible partner and making sure everything is everything. You know, because after a while, look, the dating pool will start getting more shallow and more shallow. And when it's all said and done, guess what? You want to have to really be careful about what you're picking and who you're choosing. But if you keep yourself humble, you know, keeping yourself on a keeping yourself on a high road, trust me, you might just land something that will be perfect for you. Well, I can't say perfect because nothing is perfect, but you will find something that is grateful for you, that is the best option for you. And when it's all said and done, that best option is going to be the most satisfying one. You know, again, you just got to be mindful of who you choose. But again, the loyalty should be the most important thing, and it should definitely be something that definitely keeps all forms of negative out of it. Loyalty should go a long way, just like respect. You know, but I think that once you get to that stage of knowing what real true loyalty is, you won't have to worry about nothing. But again, just be careful of who you place around your counterparts, and just make sure that the people that you are around are as loyal, but also as respectful as they should be. And when you feel you got jealous people around you or envious people, you do your best to get rid of those people. Because once you get rid of them, now that's one less headache you have to worry about. That's one less stress factor. Keith, what's going on, my guy? Y'all already know, if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like even down in friendships, I should be loyal and as loyal to a friend as possible. So if I know I've heard something damaging or I've seen something damaging that could possibly again take my friend over the deep end, I gotta be real and let them know what it is. You know, prime example, if I work with a friend, right, and I find out my friend might get fired or is on the verge of getting fired, I'm not going to sit there and hold that back. I'm going to let them know for fair warning. Like, yo, listen, there might be talks about them trying to get rid of you, but they still might keep you if you do what you need to do. See, that's what a real friend is going to do. I'm not going to sit back and listen to some information or gain some information and just don't say nothing. It's not the way it's supposed to work. But some people will sit back and allow their friends to basically get tossed under a bus before they decide to try to intervene, but it's already too late. Ah, you're not. I mean, that's the truth, though, Sirius. You're not supposed to hold nothing back. Like I said, when you find out certain things, you let it be known. I asked the person the other day, if you know your friend about to get fired, would you let them know or would you just stay quiet about it, knowing that you know? You might as well tell them. Because now, prime example, that day does come and they decide to let that person go, and you just got the fake shock look. They could read through that shit. What's up? That's what I'm saying. You have to. Loyalty is shown through great forms and great strengths and acts. I'd rather be loyal to a default and fall down with my ship than be disloyal. The link is pinned in case anybody want to chime in or want to pop in on the conversation. But I do feel that this is an important step and an important awareness to be bringing out. Again, can't say that you loyal and that you cool as a fam and that nothing to break your bonds, but you're willing to let certain people or even certain temptations break that. Like, fellas, you got something great on your side. Don't mess it up because you want to mess with a side piece or that because you want to chase after something that, again, might not even be all it's cracked up to be. You could be chasing after something and come to find out that person done been around with everybody. So you ain't getting nothing new. All you getting is used goods. Even if you're not getting used goods, you shouldn't even be falling into that level of dishonesty. Speak to your partner, let them know what's going on. And if things need to be spiced up again, have that conversation, but have it behind the scenes. But that's the thing. Just have a respect and a mutual respect for your partner. It'll go a long way, trust me. Because, like I said, respect goes a long way just as much as loyalty. And when you have the right people around who have that respect and loyalty, that the strongest bonds you can have. Because again, nothing could break that up. Once you start having second thoughts or doubts about anything, yeah, you better start communicating. Communication will also be that factor again, and that will also build the respect and loyalty. You know, like there are some women out there who know that they friends are dealing with, manipulators and liars, and won't say nothing. They friends, significant other than made passes at them. They ain't saying nothing. That's not loyalty, you know, and that is truth. I said this the other day, and I'm gonna say it again. Grass is not always green on the other side for both sides. So if you think you gonna achieve something greater when you already got something great, you gonna find out you done made the most horrible mistake you can make. You know, be happy and be comfortable, and also be solid with the person that you're building with. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be worried about any form of relationships anytime soon. Keep focusing on bettering yourself, because how can you make anything better even down to that? And you're not doing good at all. You know, keep yourself right. Keep yourself mentally focused. And when you are definitely focused on shaping the best type of relationships, then guess what? You know, that relationship will turn into something grand. That relationship will eventually turn into an outstanding marriage. How would I know? Because again, I done been a part of building some great relationships when I was doing the whole hookup artist act. Trust me. You know, when you have people who have the same type of interest, but also, just have the greatest forms of respect and greatest forms of communication, things would definitely, stand the ground. But, hopefully somebody will get something out of this message again. Because there are some people who probably are on that dating field, or probably already got up with somebody that they got the good thing for. But guess what? Don't mess up a good thing by trying to do too much. That's one thing I will say. There are some people who are sabotaging their own good stuff because, again, doing too much. When it doesn't need to be fixed, don't fix it. Leave everything alone. That's just like how we used to do in the back in the days with the TV. We might have had a TV that was always giving us some form of static or issues, but there'd be some days when once you done bang that sucker one good time, you didn't have to worry about nothing. Just don't touch nothing. You know, you got it good. Don't touch nothing. Don't fix nothing. Don't disturb no peace. And I think that's something that some people should really take heed to tonight. You know, you're not going to gain everything you want, but you're going to gain the things that you need that's going to keep you whole and keep you solid. So again, if you think you do have somebody and that person is fitting the build as far as your expectations and everything along those lines, you do everything to keep that solid. Don't mess it up over temptation, because that temptation over loyalty will mess you up. Nah, you're not supposed to, serious. You're not. You know, and that's for anybody. Never sit back. If a person doesn't see your full worth and see your full potential, then that's not the person you need to be with. Focus on being with somebody who has your best interest at heart. You know, but yeah, I'm honestly seeing that in certain scenarios. Again, some people just would rather, go the opposite direction. But again, when you not being complacent and you're not being truthful with a person that you're supposed to be with, again, it can backfire on you. So what's more important right now? I should ask some of y'all this question. What's more important? Their loyalty or the temptation. If you think the temptation is worth it, hey, just know what comes with it. And just know what heartaches you might be a part of. You know? But yeah, this is definitely a conversation. I'm gonna have a part two to this. You know, I feel these conversations we've been having lately have definitely been, hitting on some good levels, and we need that because again, you know, you want some people who are out here on this dating field to be wise enough to, you know, choose the right type of partner for them. You know, but the one thing to remember is again that loyalty and that respect and the communication. And if your partner exceeds all levels when it comes to all three, that's somebody you should definitely make sure you are keeping the communication lines open with, no matter what. You know. But I appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation. You know me though. I gotta be a fool with it. Man. James number 8 done came late to church with a pork chop sandwich. That's not gonna help, sir. It's not gonna help, good sir. You was late and you only broke one pork chop? One pork chop? Come on, man. Look at everybody else in the chat. You brought one ass pork chop. Come on, James number 8. Come on, man. Come on, man. You slipping, man. But hopefully again somebody did get something out of this message today, And it's real facts though. You know, in order to really have loyalty, you gotta be loyal to yourself, which means that temptation shouldn't be lingering over you, which means you should be able to fight that temptation. And if it's not worth you losing something good, don't mess yourself up. If it's not worth losing a good friendship, good relationship, or anything along those lines, don't do it. And for some of y'all, you shouldn't be ready or willing to risk a great friendship if it is a great friendship. Condolences, James. Well, shoot, condolences to both of y'all. I know y'all just had some recent losses. Um, and condolences to anybody who has lost anybody recently. And condolences and prayers to those who might be um, going through certain anniversaries as we speak now. Best thing I could say for the night, though, is again, you better start thinking more clearly and thinking more wise. Because it's not worth it. It ain't worth messing up great friendships or great relationships over temptation. Remember, loyalty is shown in acts. And if you have loyal people in your background, you better make sure that you are doing right by them and being just as loyal. Easier said than done, I know, but for some people, shouldn't be that hard to do. When you have the right people who have been the best supporters, you keep that. Like there's been some great loyal people here that's still here. And I appreciate and respect every last one of y'all. Again, most of y'all what make this content what it is. Like I said, for those who don't pop up on the panel, A lot of y'all be spitting gems and nuggets in the chat, and it's appreciated. It's very well appreciated. But again, this is how we get the best results. You know, it's all about the great participation in things. And if you're going to participate in somebody else's life, then you need to make sure that your life is in a good stage. So that means there should be no second guessing, again, no second doubts. No temptation should drift you away from something good that you might have or something great that you do have. So again, remember, for those that need to hear it, before you decide to get into anything committed or anything serious, make sure that you're prepared for all of that. And make sure that the person that you with is prepared to take the ride as well too. But just make sure you have the right people around. Because trust me, when you do, that loyalty will surpass any temptation. I appreciate everybody again that rocked out. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. For those celebrating birthdays, I believe it's Taurus season now, if I ain't mistaken. We ain't forget about you, birthday babies. We did not forget about y'all. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed y'all weekends. Right? Hopefully, you enjoy your upcoming weekends. Again, hopefully y'all enjoy your birthday weeks, birthday weekends. Hopefully, whatever you have planned, you'll be able to get through your plans smoothly. Keep creating memories as always. And again, another year, another blessing around the sun. I ain't forget about y'all. Again, get your birthday dances on. Yes, yes. Because I know that email coming, so you know. But it felt good today, and I didn't have to do this.
Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
And we didn't have to do none of that tonight. So you know. Oh wait, serious. I forgot. I owed you a dance. Oh, don't worry. I almost nailed that dance down. Don't worry. I'm gonna cam up when I do that shit too. Don't worry. One more again, y'all. One more again. One more again for the people. I think I almost got it down, Pat. I think I almost got it. Wait a minute. I didn't forget about y'all for real. Get y'all good feel good on. Oh shoot. It is hump day, so yeah. Don't worry, BMF. You know how I get down. You know how I get down. You know how I get down now. But we did not forget about y'all. We did not forget about y'all. Wait a minute. I need y'all motivation. My fault. For those who have been on a weight loss journey or on the verge of doing any form of extraneous exercises, whether it's to shape themselves, shape their physique, drop some pounds, etc., etc. we got the right motivation for you
Just
today.
holler at me when they sober on parole. I'm a felon. You think I ain't got that blower? Yeah, you right, bro. Take his head off his fucking shoulder. You hear me? Hit the rollie stove with the rollie on. What was our getaway car? Jag portfolio. You hear me? Hey, I heard I had some sneak dissers. Whoever feeling hot, that AR got a heat sensor. Cuz said don't entertain them hungry niggas. I wish I would pay it.
Shoot, I think I gotta motivate myself. Let me use this one more game.
When they sober on parole, I'm a felon. You think I ain't got that blower? Yeah, you right, bro. Take his head off his fucking shoulder. You hear me? Hit the rollie stove with the rollie on. What was our getaway car? Jag portfolio. You hear me? Hey, I heard I had some sneak dissers. Whoever feeling hot, that AR got a heat sensor. Cuz said don't entertain them hungry niggas. I wish I would pay it.
Yeah, get yourself motivated and make sure you keep that mentality. Don't worry. Don't be over here catching a gasket over here. Serious. Hold on, here.
Bitch, I look so damn good right now. Excuse me, I'm feeling myself from my head to my toe. Bitch, I look so official.
For those who feeling too good.
Sliding on the water like a jet ski, yeah. I'm trying to fuck you on your bestie, yeah.
And for those who are having the great birthday celebrations, expect me to be doing this at your barbecue tables. Don't worry.
Gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, y'all gonna make me go up.
Don't encourage the madness tonight. Yeah, I know. Didi, what you laughing at? Here. See, hold on. See, Didi, you always doing this to yourself, Didi. See, you always doing this to yourself. It is all right. We got you. Be coming over here with that. Nah, I'm gonna be coming here with that. Oh wait, shouts to Marlene too. We got you, baby.
Turn myself into a pickle, Morty. Boom! Big reveal. I'm a pickle. What do you think about that? I turned myself into a pickle.
One more again.
I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow. I just ain't trying to go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow. I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow.
No, I don't.
Y'all already know the madness though. But yeah, let me get y'all good old. Oh wait, BMF, come get your niece and nephew, man. Come get them. They over here wilding.
No, I'm dispatched.
Oh, what the hell? Hold on 1 second.
Put it on the schedule. On my way.
Oh shoot, I didn't even know that, bro. That's the song, because it only said it was 3 of us. But yeah, one more again. Come get your nieces in there, you know.
My problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem.
It's a free one.
Yeah, but you know,
gonna happen. This was gonna happen.
Yeah, you know, ain't got no damn sense. But you know, tonight was a great conversation, and again, you already know what it is. You know, we had to get our little good laughter in here. It can't be serious mojo all day. But before we do get up out of here, all y'all should begin your dance on right now.
Don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in.
Yeah, let me get my ass up out of here. For those who are just tuning in, y'all can definitely catch this replay. And again, appreciate everybody that's been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. And yes, I will be bringing a part 2 to this conversation. And the link will be pinned again in case anybody want to chime in. I feel these conversations are necessary because, again, it brings what we supposed to be bringing back to the society that we live in. People who actually are thinking. And not just thinking for the moment, but thinking for the long term, you know. But yeah, before I do get up out of here, one more again for the people. Because I feel it's needed. I feel it is needed. yeah, let me get up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay gang. Shout outs to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, you already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real bills. And for those who are still here at some point, I'm not sure when, but I'm giving y'all a heads up. It'll probably be posted up on my community wall. I most likely might bring back one of these nights for poetry, music, and comedy. So just be on the lookout for it. Just be on the lookout for it. And yeah, definitely enjoy the rest of y'all evenings. For some of y'all, it's already 12 o'clock. For all you future babies, I still need the lottery numbers, damn it. I'm still scheming for tomorrow. Don't just remember that. But I'll definitely have a part 2 to this. And I could be back tomorrow with a different convo. If not, with those that are following me still on Clapper, I could be back. So, But yeah, enjoy it. Wait a minute, serious. You can't leave out just like that. Baby. You can't leave out like that when you got. We still got to give you one of your main ones. Shit. But again, this is what happens when you dealing with somebody like me. But y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And what the hell you just said, James? Hold on. James, I ain't messing with you, man. I ain't messing with you. You know what? Y'all get a good feel good dance on the way out. Don't be late, yeah. But you're gonna have people who are late, so you know. And for all the haters. But y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.